Hi, and welcome to a short narrated PowerPoint designed to give you an all-around look at taking your email and calendar to a mobile platform. The most common one that you'll see and deal with working at the University of Melbourne is Microsoft Exchange. This is what Outlook is based on. So Outlook will be the main email client that most people use on their work-provided computer, and it runs on something called an Exchange server, a special kind of server which just deals with email and calendar appointments, contacts, etc., etc. It's really tightly integrated with Outlook, Office, the login directory that we use, and any of those other documents that might come into that Microsoft Office suite. The magic of it is that it makes your email and calendar and contacts list ubiquitous. It's always updating for you in the background. So also takes care of the indexing. So it means that you can log on to any university computer and it will populate with your account once you put in your login credentials, and you'll have all of your email there. You won't be missing anything. Outlook Web Access is already indexed, so you can dip into that anytime and find just a simple word search will turn up the email that you're looking for. And of course it gives you a high degree of shareability because everybody's using the Microsoft platform for Office and all the other tools as well. Two other types of email systems that are out there are POP and IMAP. So POP is the older one, stands for Post Office Protocol, and IMAP is the newer one, which stands for Internet Message Access Protocol. POP was invented in 1984, and it allowed you to download all your email from the local drive, therefore leaving empty space on the email server so new mail could arrive. You always had the opportunity of checking a box that said leave a copy on the server, but then you've got that issue of duplication. So this is the kind of thing you'll need to use if you really have to offline your email. IMAP is typically what, say, Gmail would use, or another type of web-based email app, and it leaves all the email in the server. So when you're looking at it, you're typically looking at it through a web browser or an account that's linked to an email client, but what you're actually looking at is the data that's on the server. It's never downloading locally, saving on your system, or if it is, it's sort of handing off and updating at the same time. So there's no duplication or less duplication, and it's always being updated, and effectively it's like Exchange, but it's a cloud-based service. It requires that you're connected to use it, to send and to receive email. One of the most useful things about bringing your email to your mobile platform is having a unified inbox. So you might have 2 or 3 or even more email accounts that you're regularly checking, some for work, some for personal, and some for relating to maybe positions that you hold on a centre or a responsibility that you have for some institution. Having them all in the one place where you can easily skim through and flag them or archive them in different places is very, very useful, and it saves having to dip in and out of different applications just to check email accounts. Not all email systems are built the same, so there are some rough edges to this system. It doesn't do everything that you would expect 100%, but it is very close. When you're setting up your email, you'll commonly see these words: pushing, pulling and fetching for email. So let's just quickly describe what they are in a non-technical way. Push means that the email is pushed to you. So you can set it up to automatically get pushed to you, say whenever a new email arrives or a calendar invite arrives, or it can be pushed to you every 15 minutes or 30 minutes or half a day, depending on how you prefer to receive it. Because it's real time, it can be annoying, so they pop up unexpectedly if you've got it set to arrive as they're sent to you, and it can also be data costly or really distracting too. So pull is the opposite. You have the control, you trigger when the update happens. but pulling means that it's a sort of grand overall update of everything. When you trigger a pull, it will draw down all the new email messages, all the new calendar invites and everything. And it can be time consuming if there's a lot of information that comes down at once. But the key point is that it's triggered by the user, and it's a way for you to manage your data usage. Fetching is actually just the first part of the pull. So in the instance where maybe you just want to see the email subject lines and perhaps the first few lines of the email, just so you can grasp what it might be about and decide what to do with it, then a fetch setting might be the way that you set that up, which means that it won't get everything, it'll just get a little bit of something, which is the first part of a pull process. Everybody who uses a mobile device will probably have some kind of data plan attached to it, and if that's the case, you're often managing that data plan so you don't go over and get charged some exorbitant fees for excess use. So email itself is usually very lightweight. It's just text. There's never going to be a big problem for you to download just the email itself, but attachments can be very heavy. It's common to get 20 megabyte attachments nowadays. Large PDFs is another thing that academic people will often want to download, so that can bite into your data plan pretty quickly. And also video and audio streams, if you're following a lot of them, they'll also quickly chew through your data plan. Some of the ways to manage it are to sync all your podcasts at home, or your media at home, and get it onto your device before you move out of your own Wi-Fi at home, or find and make a list of all your favourite Wi-Fi spots. So one of the settings on most mobile devices will be show available networks. So if you've got that set to on, and whenever you move into an area that you've used free Wi-Fi before, it'll alert you to it, and typically they're going to be things like McDonald's, Starbucks and different shopping centres that you move through or go past. And you can use all those just to manage that overall data usage that you're paying for in a more proactive way. Most mobile devices will have, in the top title bar of the screen interface, will have some kind of icon that clearly shows you what network you're in. So 2G, 3G and 4G are often going to be the things that you're paying for in your data plan, and Wi-Fi will most commonly be uni-wireless here at work, or say your own Wi-Fi network at home, or free Wi-Fi networks that you can use around the city as you're travelling around. So a couple of things to look for are when you're roaming outside of your coverage network, so that you know that you've switched to a different rate of payment. Get familiar with your coverage maps through your provider's website. Set up some trigger alerts, which are usually provided again through through the website of your provider, which can tell you, okay, I'm at 85% of my data plan already, and it's 3 or 4 days before it resets. And then also discover that part of their website which shows you what data you've already used for the month. Once you've started using a mobile device, you'll see that you have to find a way to optimize or manage working on a small screen. Having so much information presented on a small screen often means that there's a lot of pinching and zooming to go on. So particularly if you're looking at, say, something like Outlook Web Access on an iPhone or an Android device, even really up to an iPad. An iPad is a better size for viewing it, but anything in between those two sizes, you'll probably have to pinch and zoom to some degree. Then you'll get into using it for things like skimming email, and then filing and flagging and archiving. So it's a way that you can use your mobile device to have a look at all the email data that you've received, and just decide on the fly what you're going to deal with while you're out and about, rather than trying to deal with every single thing in the somewhat constrained window of a smaller device. As you get to know your device, you'll find that you develop this kind of finger dance. So The elements on the screen never change position. Once you know where they are, you can become very adept at all the swiping and pinching and zooming and moving from portrait to landscape that's required for using that particular app on your particular device.